It's Saturday and we're going mostly downwind on a very broad reach, you might say. Back down south, Plumper Cove, where we came out yesterday is right there, Port Browning. Where we're coming from is right back there where that little beach is right in the middle. That was Irish Bay on... I forgot the name of the island, doesn't matter. Anyway, straight ahead's where we're going. I don't get to do this very often. We're actually doing a nice 4 knots here. Going downwind is pleasant. The boat's nice and flat. You aren't really aware of the motion, but we're making good time here. It's only dangerous in that if the wind gets behind you, it can swing your mainsail around. I've actually got a double reef in here. I thought this morning with the 14 knot winds forecast I might be needing a little bit less sail, but there's a lot less than 14 knots of wind in here right now. Better safe than sorry. Perhaps I'll shake those reefs out, as we sailors say, in a while. But right now we're doing over 4 knots, so that's just fine. Well, I'm glad I've got my reef in now. We're doing about 4.5 knots straight down the channel here, which is really nice. If I had the full sail up, we'd be heeling over with water coming over into the scuppers. Wouldn't be very pleasant at all. This is just nice. Good solid sailing right down this channel. It's a weird thing. You think the land would block the wind, but quite often I see that in the lee of the land, the wind's blowing from the other side of that land there, and right here is the windiest spot I've had all day. Somebody explained that to me. Sometimes the wind will block the wind completely, and sometimes it seems to amplify it like that. Maybe it's the shape of the islands. I think they tend to slope up on the other side and have steep drop-offs on this side, so the wind builds up rising and then spills down like this. Anyway, that's what we're seeing. Lots of fun. 5.5 knots here. Absolutely screaming down. That's about as fast as we go. And I am so glad I've got the reef in. Well, this would be a bit troublesome. As it is, we're just doing fantastic here. About as fast as I've ever sailed before, I think. We're on a broad reach. That means the wind coming about 90 degrees to the boat, perpendicular. And we're just flying along. She's handling it very well. Some guy with a 40-foot boat there powering in this weather. I don't know. He had a Dodger, inside steering, all that stuff, and he's just powering, wasting all this wind. 6.7 knots, and she's just as steady as a rock. She's just loving it. I must say my knuckles are turning a little bit white. Oh, we're doing just fine. That's that wind. The bigger the hill, the steeper the wind coming off it. Mount Baker there in the distance. Way ahead there where that sea is pale blue, that's where it's flat. That's where we no longer have this island effect, where the wind will be just dead. We'll be turning the corner just past that island there heading towards Sidney. The wind's dying down a bit now. We're down to about 4 knots as we leave the channel here. So on the right hand side there, that's Saturna that's been causing all of this, what I'll call the island effect, where you get those strong winds spilling off the cliffs. I climbed up there. Started off by riding from the campsite at Narvaez Bay, and why ride a bike uphill all the way when you can just get off and walk. Nice views from up there. Nice views down the channel. What an amazing place we do live in. And we'll be making a right turn past that island pretty soon. So we've made our turn to the right. That's Bedwell Harbour in there where I went in 2 days ago. We're just heading for Moresby Island now. That's the southern tip of that. Back there is Saturna. The little white dot there is a lighthouse. That's where we made the turn to the right. So we're now reaching on the other tack. The big waves here are due to a big ship that just went by. That big ship way over there by Mount Baker. But just another great day, just the right amount of sail. I think next time when there's 14, 15 knots, I might use the storm jib and the storm staysail. A little bit smaller, a little bit more control, a little bit less flapping about, a little bit less heeling over. And not so white knuckles. My knuckles aren't that white, see? Coming to Moresby Island there, dead ahead. And on my right there, or off the starboard as we sailor people say, is a tugboat with 2 barges coming in. But I'm a sailboat under sail, so I have the right of way. He'll just have to move himself, won't he? I mean, no, of course not. I will do everything I can to stay out of his way. So working guy, he's got 2 barges there, very, very little control over what he's doing. So I will give him full right of way. They're very, very flexible, the laws of the sea. There's several different layers you have to go through. And something like a tugboat with 2 barges is extremely unable to make rapid maneuvers, so he gets the right of way. I'll turn to starboard and go around behind him rather than force him to do something drastic. More later. The wind kind of died down. It got very lumpy out there. We've got waves coming every direction, just not very pleasant. So I'm just going to power up the photon torpedoes, because here come a couple of those annoying little personal watercraft, always watercraft, always zinging around. Anyway, there's my barge. He's way ahead of me. He'll be gone by the time I get there. Yeah, I wish I had some phasers or photon torpedoes for these guys. I think that's the Duane, which usually resides in Victoria Harbour. Just going by Mount Baker. There's Sidney Spit. A few boats in there, but I need a bit of calm and peace and just anchor and relax for a while. I always love when you're going close to land like this, how the near land passes in front of the far land, making all kinds of interesting Little vista is always different, it's always changing. I believe this is Duen from Victoria Harbour 3-hour tours fame, just coming by me at my anchorage at Coal Island. I decided that Sidney Spit was just too cosmopolitan for me. Too many boats there, too many wakes, too much noise, too much music. No one ever stays in this thing. It's a privately owned island here, Coal Island. I'll be the only person anchored here tonight. Anyway, there's the Duen. What a beautiful sight. I think she's probably powering. She was stuck back there for at least half an hour trying to get through. There was a strong current coming out. Yeah, she's going way too fast for the amount of wind we have and the possible current, even if the currents drop down a little bit. Anyway, a beautiful sight. Salud, Duen. If it's not Duen, perhaps it's the one that used to be there doing the tours in the same berth in front of the Empress Hotel there. Good morning from Coal Island. This was my anchorage last year. Just wanted to show how quiet and peaceful the mornings are here before the speedboats inevitably start tearing around, kicking up wakes and churning up the entire area. This is how it was last night. Absolutely rock solid. No motion whatsoever. Just beautiful starry nights. And I'm just charging up my battery there. As we can see, we've got 35 kilowatts coming in, or 35 watts coming in. We'll see how much that charges. And today I'm going to do some final sanding on the rub rail there, so I can hopefully do a coat of sealant this afternoon before I go home. This is the deck. The main problem, I need to fill all of those cracks and then just apply 5 or 6 coats of goopy rubberized paint. I changed the position of these solar panels, so now it's at a better angle, not obstructed by that one rope. And we're now getting 66 watts, or twice as much.